Welcome back to our channel, JF coin lovers and treasure hunters from around the world. Today we're diving deep into the mysterious and fascinating story of the 1980 Lincoln penny, a small copper coin that has shocked collectors, historians, and coin experts across the United States. Yes, this tiny 1-cent piece, minted over 4 decades ago, is now making huge waves in the market. Some rare varieties of this coin have sold for hundreds of dollars, and a few even rumored to reach unbelievable prices around $442 or more depending on condition, rarity, and era features. So stay tuned till the end because you might just discover that you have a hidden fortune lying quietly inside your pocket change or an old jar of coins. Let's begin with the incredible history behind the 1980 Lincoln penny. The letter D stands for the Denver Mint, one of the major coin-producing facilities of the United States. In 1980, millions of these coins rolled out of Denver, but not all of them were created equal. This was a transitional time for U.S. coinage. The penny was still being made primarily from 95% copper and 5% zinc, just before the major shift in 1982 to a copper-plated zinc composition. Because of this, the 1980 penny holds a special place in numismatic history as one of the last full copper pennies before the metal changeover that transformed U.S. coinage forever. Now, let's talk about what makes certain 1980 pennies so valuable. At first glance, most look ordinary, featuring Abraham Lincoln's classic portrait designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that first appeared in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. On the reverse side, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, beautifully detailed, symbolizing unity and freedom. But hidden within the fine details of some 1980 pennies are rare minting errors, die variations, and conditions that set them apart from the millions of common cents. Collectors have identified several error types that make these coins worth big money. One of the most famous is the double die obverse, where the lettering or date appears doubled due to a minting misalignment. If you see doubling in words like Liberty or the date 1980, you might be holding a valuable treasure. Another valuable error is the off-center strike, where the coin design is shifted away from its center, leaving blank areas of the copper surface. Coins like that are very appealing to collectors because each one is unique and visually striking. Additionally, look for broad strikes, die cracks, or BIE errors, where a small raised line appears between the letters B and E in Liberty. These kinds of errors can transform a simple penny into a collector's dream. Now let's discuss the condition, which plays a massive role in determining a coin's worth. Most pennies that have been in circulation for years will show signs of wear, scratches, dull color, or faded detail. However, if your 1980 penny is in uncirculated condition, still shiny with crisp details and no visible damage, you could be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. Coins graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC are considered mint-state gems. These coins can fetch impressive prices on the collector's market, sometimes between $100 and $442, depending on eye appeal and rarity. In fact, some auction results have amazed the numismatic community. Rare error examples of the 1980 Lincoln penny have sold for hundreds of dollars online. Imagine turning a single cent into hundreds just by spotting a subtle difference on its surface. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about money, it's about history, art, and the thrill of discovery. Let's not forget the context of 1980, an era of transition and inflation in the United States economy. The cost of copper was rising rapidly, and the U.S. Mint was preparing to change the penny's composition to make production cheaper. That makes every 1980 penny one of the last true copper cents ever struck in large numbers. Each one weighs 3.11 grams, unlike the post-1982 pennies that weigh only 2.5 grams due to their zinc core. That difference may seem small, but to collectors, it's a defining detail that separates a valuable collectible from a common coin. Another factor that adds to the coin's appeal is its aesthetic quality. A beautiful, well-struck 1980 penny with brilliant red luster can attract serious attention from collectors and investors alike. Coins with full sharp details on Lincoln's face, clean fields without marks, and rich color tones can reach premium prices even without major errors. Many enthusiasts call them ultra Lincoln pennies because of their near-perfect condition and high eye appeal. If you want to check whether your penny could be valuable, here's what you should do. First, use a magnifying glass or a coin microscope to examine the date and lettering carefully. Look for doubling, cracks, or unusual features. Then weigh the coin using a small digital scale. If it weighs 3.11 grams, it's a copper penny. If it weighs closer to 2.5 grams, it's a later zinc version and generally less valuable unless it has a striking error. Also, store your coins in protective holders or coin flips to prevent scratches or corrosion. Preservation is key in keeping a coin's value high. Now, let's talk about the market demand for the 1980 penny. Coin collecting is booming again thanks to social media, online auctions, and a growing community of treasure hunters. Pennies that were once considered ordinary are now trending, especially those with stories, mint errors, or ultra-high grades. As of today's coin market, a standard circulated 1980 penny may only be worth a few cents, but an uncirculated or rare error variety can jump to $442 or even higher, depending on buyer demand and rarity level. Every year, as supplies shrink and more collectors chase these copper treasures, the prices continue to climb. Think about it. How many people in the 1980s ever imagined that one of their pennies would one day be worth hundreds of dollars? That's the beauty of history in your hands. Every coin tells a story, the story of a nation's economy, of design evolution, of craftsmanship, and of the people who used it in daily life. Your 1980 Lincoln penny is not just a coin, it's a living piece of American heritage, carrying echoes of the past and the promise of value in the future. So before you toss your change aside or spend that old penny, take a closer look. You never know, that tiny copper coin might be your ticket to a small fortune. Check the details, the shine, the weight, and the mint mark. If it's a clean, red-toned, or error-filled 1980 penny, you could be holding something far more precious than a cent. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story of the 1980 Ultra Lincoln penny, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more coin value videos, and share this video with your fellow collectors. We'll keep bringing you more hidden treasures, coin secrets, and updates on the latest market values from the world of numismatics. Thank you for watching, and remember, never underestimate the power of a single penny. It might just be worth a fortune waiting to be discovered. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, maybe your next find will be the next record-breaking coin. Stay tuned for our next episode where we uncover another unbelievable coin story from American history. Until then, happy collecting and good luck, treasure hunters. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about coins in the world of numismatics, 1979 Lincoln cent, also known by collectors as the Ultra Penny, a small piece of copper that can hold a massive value of up to $442 in today's collector market. You've heard that right, a single 1-cent coin from 1979 with the D mint mark can be worth hundreds of dollars if you know what to look for. So make sure you stay with me till the very end, because I will reveal the hidden details, errors, varieties, and minting secrets that make this coin one of the most fascinating treasures in your change jar. Let's start with a bit of history. The year was 1979. America was moving into a new era of technology, inflation was rising, and the United States Mint continued producing billions of Lincoln cents to keep up with everyday transactions. The 1979 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which used the D mint mark just below the date on the obverse side. Each coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that first appeared in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse, we see the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday, making this coin a continuation of American heritage in the palm of your hand. Now let's talk about the composition. The 1979 D penny was made primarily of copper, with 95% copper and 5% zinc. This was just before the major change in 1982 when the Mint switched to a cheaper copper-plated zinc planchet. That means if you're holding a 1979 D penny, you have one of the last full copper cents ever made, which adds both sentimental and material value. Because copper prices have gone up over the years, even the metal content of this coin makes it more valuable than its face value. But for collectors, it's the errors and the condition that create the real excitement. So, what makes a 1979 D penny worth big money? Let's dig into the details. Most circulated examples are worth between 1 and 5 cents, but in high-grade condition, or with rare mint errors, the story changes dramatically. Collectors and investors are constantly searching for coins with sharp details, strong strikes, and blazing luster. If your penny is in uncirculated or mint state condition, it can be worth anywhere from $10 to over $100 depending on the grade. But that's not all. Certain examples of the 1979 D penny have shown remarkable errors that make them extremely desirable and valuable. Let's look at some of the rare error varieties. The first type is the double die verse, where you can see doubling on the date, or on the letters in Liberty, or I in God We Trust. Under magnification, these doubling effects appear like shadows or overlapping text, and collectors are willing to pay high prices for clearly visible doubling. Another rare variety is the off-center strike, where part of the design is missing because the coin was not properly centered during minting. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the value, sometimes hundreds of dollars for a coin with 50% of the design missing yet full visible date and mint mark. Then there are die cracks, filled dies, and clipped planchets, each adding their own unique personality and rarity to the coin. These error pennies are not just mistakes. They are one-of-a-kind collectibles that tell a story of how coins were produced decades ago. Now for the most thrilling part. Let's talk about record values and the current market worth. A high-grade 1979 D Lincoln penny in mint state 67 red condition has sold at auction for as much as $442, an unbelievable amount for something that started as a single-cent. Professional coin grading services like PCGS and NGC have certified only a small number of these high-grade examples, making them even more desirable. If you find a bright, lustrous, and perfectly struck 1979 D penny without scratches or blemishes, it's worth sending to a grading company because that could be your golden ticket to hundreds of dollars. In today's collector market, coins from the late 1970s are gaining attention because they represent the end of the classic copper penny era. As collectors realize how rare it is to find high-quality coins from circulation, prices continue to rise. So it's not just about rarity, it's about condition, eye appeal, and demand. Even a simple roll of 1979 D pennies that's been stored away for years might hide a treasure. That's why it's so important to check your coins carefully under good lighting or with a magnifier. So how can you find one of these valuable coins? Start by searching through your old jars, piggy banks, and coin rolls from the bank. Focus on coins that look bright, shiny, and well struck. Check the date and mint mark, and use a magnifying glass to look for doubling or unusual marks. If you spot a 1979 D penny with strong luster, no wear, and perfect strike, you may have a mint state example. And if you're lucky enough to find one with an error, your penny could be worth hundreds or even more depending on collector demand at the time of sale. Before we wrap up, here's a fun fact. The Denver Mint produced over 4 billion Lincoln cents in 1979, but only a handful of them remain in pristine condition today. Think about that for a moment. Billions were made, but only a few survived untouched by time, circulation, and wear. That's what makes these coins so special and why collectors are always hunting for the best preserved examples. So the next time you see a 1979 D penny, don't pass it by. Hold it up, look closely, and imagine the history it's carried for more than 4 decades. This small copper coin connects us to a time when money was built to last and craftsmanship mattered. And who knows, that tiny 1-cent piece in your hand could be your gateway to an amazing find worth over $400. Thank you for watching and supporting our channel. If you love learning about rare and valuable coins, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden value of everyday change. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a 1979 D penny or any rare Lincoln cent, and we might feature your story in our next episode. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and never stop believing that your next coin could be the one that changes everything. Today, in this video, we are going deep into the fascinating story of the 1973 1-cent Ultra Lincoln penny, a small but powerful piece of American history that has surprised collectors all around the world with its beauty, rarity, and market value that can reach up to an incredible $442. Yes, you heard that right, a single 1-cent coin worth hundreds of dollars. Stay tuned till the end, because I will tell you exactly what to look for in your coins, how to identify a valuable 1973 Lincoln penny, and how these coins have turned into hidden treasures for collectors across the USA and beyond. Let's start with a little bit of history. The year 1973 was an important time in the story of the Lincoln penny. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent first appeared in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln on his 100th birthday, and it quickly became one of the most beloved coins in the history of the United States Mint. The obverse side features the famous portrait of Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty on the left and the date 1973 on the right. Above his head, the proud phrase "I in God we trust" reminds us of America's faith and strength during those years. On the reverse side, we see the image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., a majestic design introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely, you can actually see the tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a small detail that many people never notice. Now let's talk about the metal composition of the 1973 Lincoln penny. These coins were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving them that classic reddish-brown tone collectors love. Each coin weighs about 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. But here's where things start to get interesting. The 1973 pennies were produced at 3 different U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint placed a small mint mark beneath the date on the obverse side. The coins from Denver have a D mint mark, those from San Francisco have an S mint mark, and the coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark at all. Most 1973 Lincoln cents are common, but there are rare varieties and errors that make certain pieces worth a fortune. Some of the most valuable versions include the Ultra Lincoln penny examples that were struck with extraordinary detail and mirror-like surfaces, known as proof or ultra cameo finishes. These coins were specially made for collectors and display stunning craftsmanship that sets them apart from ordinary circulation strikes. In pristine condition, with no scratches, stains, or wear marks, these coins can reach incredible values at auction. Let's look at the market side of things. A regular 1973 penny in circulated condition might only be worth its face value, but when you come across one with deep original color, no wear, and full sharp details, the value jumps dramatically. Collectors are always on the hunt for the 1973 S-proof penny, especially those graded PR69 or PR70 by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC. These are considered nearly perfect coins, and they have been known to sell for hundreds of dollars. Recently, one example of a 1973 Ultra Lincoln penny sold for an astonishing $442, proving that even a small cent can carry a massive story and a powerful value. But the rarest of all are the error coins. Some 1973 pennies were struck off-center, double-dyed, or have repunched mint marks. The double-dyed obverse variety, where Lincoln's image or lettering appears doubled, is one of the most sought after. Depending on the clarity and strength of the doubling, these coins can sell for anywhere between $50 and over $400. Always check the lettering of Liberty and the date 1973 carefully with a magnifying glass. Small details could mean a big payday. Another fascinating thing about these coins is how their value has increased over time. The price of copper alone adds a small intrinsic value to every 1973 penny, but the collector's demand and the beauty of preserved examples make them far more valuable. Many collectors love the warm red luster that older copper coins develop, especially when they are stored properly without exposure to moisture or air. If your penny has maintained that original red shine, you could be holding something truly special. Now let's talk about how to identify an Ultra Lincoln penny. Ultra or deep cameo-proof coins have an incredibly sharp contrast between the frosted raised designs and the mirror-like background. When you tilt the coin under light, you will see the reflection shining like a mirror while Lincoln's portrait looks almost three-dimensional. This combination of visual depth and flawless detail is what makes these coins so desirable among collectors. They were minted in limited numbers and handled with extreme care, making them a rare find today. If you want to check the real market value of your 1973 penny, consider getting it graded by a professional service. The coin grading system ranges from poor P1 to perfect mint state MS70. Coins graded MS65 and above are the ones that bring serious money. In auctions and online marketplaces, these high-grade examples attract intense bidding wars because serious collectors know how rare it is to find a flawless piece that has survived more than 50 years without a single mark. Let's also look at the historical background of the time. In 1973, the United States was experiencing great social and economic changes. The Vietnam War was ending, inflation was on the rise, and people were paying closer attention to money and its value. Holding a coin from that year is like holding a piece of history that tells the story of the American people, their struggles, their achievements, and their hopes. Lincoln, a symbol of unity and freedom, remains one of the most respected figures in U.S. history, and that makes every Lincoln penny a small tribute to his legacy. So what should you do if you find a 1973 penny in your collection or pocket change? First, handle it carefully. Avoid touching the surface with your fingers. Use cotton gloves or hold it by the edges. Check the mint mark, check the color, and look for any signs of doubling or unusual features. If your coin looks exceptionally sharp and shiny, you might have a proof or uncirculated specimen worth examining more closely. You can compare it online with reference images or take it to a local coin shop for an evaluation. Many collectors store their coins in special albums or airtight holders to protect them from scratches and corrosion. If you have an old jar of pennies, it's worth going through them one by one. You never know, that tiny 1-cent piece sitting unnoticed for decades could be a hidden treasure worth hundreds of dollars. The 1973 Ultra Lincoln penny is a reminder that great value often hides in the smallest things. From its copper glow to its historical significance, from its artistic design to its rising market value, this little coin tells a story bigger than its size. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting your coin journey, always pay attention to detail, because every coin has a story and sometimes that story can make you richer than you ever imagined. So before you spend your change or toss that old penny away, take a second look. You could be holding a piece of American history worth $442 or even more. Keep collecting, keep learning, and keep searching for those hidden gems that lie quietly in your coin jar or wallet. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1973 Ultra Lincoln penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another coin story or value update. We post new videos every week revealing rare coins, hidden treasures, and secret values that you can find in everyday change. Thank you for watching, and remember, the next valuable coin might already be in your pocket. See you in the next video. Today we're talking about one of the most surprising modern coins in U.S. history, the 2007 Lincoln 1-cent penny. You might think this small copper-colored coin isn't worth more than a cent, but believe it or not, certain ultra-rare 2007 Lincoln pennies have been selling for hundreds of dollars, with some even valued at over $442 in today's collector market. So make sure you watch this video till the very end, because you might have a fortune hiding in your coin jar or wallet without even realizing it. Let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent has been one of the longest-running coin designs in the history of the United States. It was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait. Since then, the Lincoln penny has gone through multiple design changes, metal composition changes, and minting updates. But the 2007 Lincoln cent belongs to the final years before one of the biggest transitions in design, the 2009 bicentennial redesign, which celebrated Lincoln's 200th birthday and the 100th anniversary of the coin itself. The 2007 penny is made of copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. It weighs about 2.5 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. The obverse, or front, features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust." Across the top, "Liberty," to the left, and the year 2007 to the right. On the reverse, we have the long-standing Lincoln Memorial design, which was first introduced in 1959 and continued until 2008. If you look closely at the back of the coin, you can actually see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, an incredible detail many people overlook. Now let's talk about the fascinating part, the value. While the standard 2007 penny you find in your change might just be worth 1 cent, special era coins, high-grade mint state coins, and coins with unique varieties can bring serious money. The U.S. Mint produced 2007 pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, Denver, and San Francisco. Among these, the 2007 S-proof coins are beautifully struck and often collected for their mirror-like finish, but it's the rare errors and ultra-high-grade examples that make headlines. Collectors look for coins that have been graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC. A 2007 Lincoln cent graded MS-68 or higher is considered ultra-rare because most coins from circulation have scratches, marks, or wear. An MS-68 coin means the surface is nearly perfect, with an incredible shine and flawless detail. These are the coins that can reach or even surpass $442 in the collector market, especially if the color designation is RD, which means red, the most desirable finish for copper coins. Coins labeled RB, red-brown, or BN, brown, are slightly less valuable, but still collectible if in great condition. Now let's talk about errors, because this is where the real treasure hunt begins. Some of the most valuable 2007 pennies are those with dramatic minting errors. For example, double die obverse, where parts of the design like the date or letters appear double due to misalignment during striking. Another type is the off-center strike, where part of the design is missing or shifted to one side. There are also broad strike errors, where the coin appears stretched, and die cracks, where lines appear due to breaks in the minting die. Coins with visible die breaks or cuts can sell for hundreds of dollars, depending on how dramatic and visible the error is. There have even been reports of 2007 Lincoln cents with unusual plating or missing layers, exposing the zinc underneath the copper coating. These kinds of minting mistakes can make your penny unique and valuable. So if you find a 2007 penny that looks strange, has odd coloring, a double date, or any kind of misprint, don't spend it. You could be holding a rare variety worth a surprising amount. Let's not forget proof coins. The 2007 S-proof pennies made in San Francisco were struck with extra care for collectors. They have a beautiful mirror-like surface and sharp details. While common proofs are worth just a few dollars, flawless deep cameo proofs graded PR70 can be extremely valuable. In fact, a perfectly graded 2007 S-proof Lincoln cent once sold for hundreds of dollars at auction, thanks to its pristine condition and deep red luster. So how do you know if your coin is valuable? Start by checking for the mint mark. If you see a D, it came from Denver. If there's no mint mark, it's from Philadelphia. And if you see an S, that means it's a proof coin from San Francisco. Then, examine your coin under good lighting or even with a magnifying glass. Look for any doubling, errors, or unusual details. Finally, if you think you have something special, consider getting it graded by a professional coin grading service. Having your coin certified can make a huge difference in its market value. The demand for modern Lincoln pennies has been growing as collectors look for high-quality examples of newer dates. With coin collecting becoming more popular online, through auctions and collector forums, prices can spike dramatically when a rare specimen appears. The 2007 Lincoln penny may seem common, but finding a flawless or error version could easily earn you hundreds, if not more. And remember, the condition of the coin is everything. A shiny, uncirculated, red coin will always attract top dollar compared to a worn one. Today, the average 2007 penny is worth face value, but in mint state condition, especially MS-67 or MS-68 red, prices can range anywhere from $40 to over $442 depending on demand and certification. Rare examples have also been known to sell for even higher prices, especially when sold at major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers.so. Next time you come across a handful of change, don't overlook that shiny little 2007 Lincoln penny. It might just be your lucky find worth hundreds of dollars. Remember, treasures often come in small packages, and in this case, just 1 cent could turn into a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, coin errors, and hidden values in your everyday change, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. We share stories of coins that have shocked collectors, the history behind America's most famous designs, and tips on how to identify valuable coins right from home. Thanks for watching, and keep checking your pennies. Your next one might be the legendary 2007 ultra-rare Lincoln cent worth $442 or even more. Happy collecting, and we'll see you in the next video where we uncover more secrets hidden inside America's pocket change.